Okay, so in the whole argument between masculine and feminine guys, I feel that we shouldn't really sit there and get mad at each other for things that we go and do, because in my opinion, we all tend to do things to one side or the other, as far as whichever side we lean to. We always have to sit there and point a finger at someone. Oh, it's their fault. It's their fault. No. Um, I feel as though um, we just need to really educate people on the spectrum of homosexuality. Even some homosexuals who sit there and argue and say, "Oh, it's your fault." No, it's your fault. Um, and so uh, I feel as though, at least for me growing up, the whole stereotypes and whatnot, I was pretty against it. Um, I didn't want to be anything that really resembled um, being flamboyant or just having people go and figure out that I was gay, even though I came out at 13 to pretty much a whole entire school. I think it was more so just my parents I didn't want finding out, which I ended up telling at like 18. Um, but I also grew up in this small religious kind of farm town, so um, it was very like taboo and still kind of is. Um, but uh, so that kind of had a precursor for me as far as my outlooks on feminine to masculine um, homosexuals. However, I really don't care what someone else does or how they are, because we are who we are. You can't really change that. Um, and unless you're a faker, like, fakers kind of piss me off. Because I see them as just attention grabbers, and just like whatever. But still, um, I also kind of grew up in a boarding school, um, so being masculine and gay kind of sat there and helped me out a lot as far as um, having people be more accepting to it and whatnot. And I even had friends who were very homophobic, um, and we now like treat each other and talk to each other as if we're pretty much brothers. Just because I sat there and told them any questions you have, I'll be more than welcome to sit there and answer them. Um, However, I will be very honest with what you go and ask. So, if you really don't want to know an answer, don't ask it. Um, and I feel as though the more feminine guys on the spectrum um, are more courageous than the masculine guys who, in my opinion, tend to sit there and be, oh, I'm straight, even though in the back rooms and they're having sex with a guy, but you all ain't gonna know that. Um, versus the feminine guy who's more out in the open and doesn't really hide it as much. However, the one thing that I kind of argue with the whole feminine guys is, which kind of gets on my nerves, is some of them, not all of them, tend to throw it in people's faces. And not talking about as far as you holding your boyfriend's hand or you kissing your boyfriend or giving your boyfriend a hug, whatever. Um, However, I am kind of against the whole let's all make out in public, and that's as far as straight couples versus gay couples, um, and because I just find that to be inappropriate to go and do, and it's just no one wants to sit there and watch that. Um, Save it for your house or wherever. Um, but yeah, um, where was I going? I kind of got sidetracked. Oh yes, but I'm more so talking about the gays who like the homophobic and religious type who sit there and be like, the Bible this, the Bible that, we're going to hell, and all of that. Um, they go around like, oh yeah, I'm gay, whatever, you can't do nothing about it, and they kind of throw it in their face in that kind of perspective, instead of both of them sitting down and saying, okay, let's have a debate, let's talk about this, let's discuss this. Um, and that's more so how I go about the anti-religious outlook on homosexuality. Um, and I kind of welcome those kind of discussions, but I like debates and like arguments and whatnot. If someone can sit there and argue without getting upset, um, and have it be more educational, argumentative, whatever. Saying that wrong, that's okay. Um, kind of conversation versus I hate you, you're going to hell, or you're a Bible pusher, why don't you go back to church, or whatever, or God isn't real. And so, um, but yeah, I feel everyone kind of needs to be more educated, um, depending on either where you grew up, or how you grew up, or what your background is, and whatnot, as far as what homosexuality is. Because I had to do a lot of research on my own to really figure out or understand um, different types or spectrums, as I've been calling it, of gay men. Um, so, yeah, with that being said, I will leave you all and go and get some food because I'm hungry. So, peace out and stay true.